Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to DJ TLM TV. My name is DJ TLM, and today I want to discuss a question that was asked by Matthias or Matthias Green. Shout out to you. He started out with turntables and real vinyl. After that, he moved on to the NS7, upgraded to the NS7 II, but now he realizes that he wants to use turntables again because he really prefers the feeling of turntables. So he did some research and discovered 3 different systems, DVS systems, the main ones, Serato, Traktor, and Virtual DJ. Now he wants to know which one would be right for him if I were in his shoes. Now, you want to have that turntable feel, and you're going to get that turntable feel regardless of which one of these systems you choose, because at the end of the day, a DVS was made so you can use your turntables or CD players just like you would use them with normal vinyl or normal CDs, only now you use timecode. So that's going to work with all of those systems. Now, I'm going to get into all of them because I talked about virtual DJs a couple of days ago because another viewer had a question and he wanted to upgrade from virtual DJ to, in his words, proper DJ system like Serato and Traktor. And I stated in that video that virtual DJ actually is a proper DJ system. It might just not be up to par with Serato and Traktor. And after that, I received questions because people want to know why is it not up to par and what should they improve. I decided I need to do some research because I don't use virtual DJ. I downloaded the version a couple of years ago, checked it out for a bit, but that's about it. So I don't know too much about it. I do have my own opinion from what I saw, but I decided to check it out. So I checked out their website and I found an interesting page on their website because they have a page here, and I'm not going to read everything, but part of that page is to compare virtual DJ to Serato and Traktor, which is pretty interesting. So let me read this part right here. Each software has a different history and philosophy. Virtual DJ started as a software for mobile DJs and beginner DJs, and our philosophy has always been to use cutting-edge technology to build tools that make DJing more accessible and help existing DJs mix better. Traktor started in a company that specializes in making software for musicians, and their philosophy is to try to merge the world of DJs and the world of musicians and producers. Serato started as a timecode only software used by turntablists who wanted to do the same tricks they were doing on vinyl, and their main philosophy is to make a tool where one will use and need all the skills one learned on traditional turntables and CDs. Now, I can't speak for those companies, but in my opinion, that feels just about right because Traktor is definitely catering towards DJs who also want to do a lot of live performing and live remixing, so they want to access more of the musician and producer side of the spectrum right here. And Serato definitely always catered towards the turntablists and the guys who are coming from turntables and just like me, who want to preserve that feeling but do want to add new technology to that. So that all makes good sense to me. But this is the part that was interesting to me. At Virtual DJ, we believe that nobody cares if you know how to beat match tracks in 1 second or 1 minute. That's not what makes you a better DJ. Your audience will never notice anyway, but what you play and how you play it is what is important. Based on that, we don't mind relegating the technical side of the mix to the machine and help you focus on the creative and artistic side of your skills. Now, there's more, but you can read that yourself if you go to their site. This is the part that kind of bugs me a little bit because even though I know that they are right, they're right about the part that the audience really doesn't care that much about the technical aspect. They want to hear the songs they like, and that is what's going to be the most important thing when it comes to rocking a crowd. But, and I also stated this before, that beat matching alone is not what makes you a good DJ. You're not going to be considered a great DJ because you can beat match by ear. But I also always state, and you can see that in every video that I talk about this subject, that I believe that it's always better to also be able to beat match by ear. At least learn that skill. If you use it, is up to you, but learn that skill. So I don't really like the fact that they're actually promoting that you don't need to know how to beat match, and that they'll take care of that side with the computer software. So this is also maybe where a lot of people that talk bad about DJ software get their ideas from. Like, I see them all the time talking about Serato users like, oh, you don't do anything, the computer does everything, which is not true, especially with Serato Scratch Live. But they might have gotten that idea from statements like this made by Virtual DJ. And Virtual DJ was always catering towards the new DJs, so they had free software on their site. And if you look at their software, just the look of it does look less professional than Serato and Traktor. So I understand why people feel that way about Virtual DJ. But they do offer a lot of functionality within their software, and they might even have been the innovators of certain techniques that are now used by all of these systems. So you can definitely use it, but it is a program that was made in essence to use with your computer and just mix music on your computer. Let the computer, the software, do the mixing for you. Just select the tracks. And of course, after that, they moved on, and you can now use Virtual DJ with a lot of controllers, and there's even timecodes, vinyl and CDs, so that you can use it with turntables. But Serato and Traktor have always approached this more from the professional standpoint, and that is why they're considered the more professional options. And I agree. And if we take a look at the software, let me grab Virtual DJ and let me see, what can I see here? This is how Virtual DJ looks when you see that main interface. And even though it has a lot of functions, as you can tell, it still always has a little bit of that a toy look to me. Maybe it's the colors or the way they use their graphics, I don't know, but you can definitely tell that you can do a lot with it. So nothing wrong with that. Here you have a lot of different side panels and extra panels with stuff on there. Just check out the website to see all these different options that you have within the system, because there is a lot. So you can never say that this is a simple piece of DJ software. And if we look at Serato DJ, for instance, you can tell that that's a totally different look. And this look always felt right for me, man, with the two spinning platters that just represent your two turntables. I don't know, this just felt right for me. There's not too much there, but everything I need is there. And if I want to see more, I can click open the effects panel and stuff like that. So that really worked for me. I really like that. And again, check their website if you want to see all the functionality that you get. I do have to add that there are a lot of extras you can get with Serato, but a lot of times those are expansion packs that you have to buy. So that means that you would have to probably invest a little extra if you see something that you really like and want to use. And same for Traktor. Traktor, again, if you compare this to what you saw with Virtual DJ, Traktor definitely has a more solid professional look. But in my opinion, I always saw their interface and thought it was a bit too much for the eye. I saw too much on the screen, and I didn't really like that. And especially back in the days, Traktor had like 4 or 5 different software options. You had Traktor, Traktor Pro, Traktor Scratch, Traktor Scratch Duo, I don't know, but a lot of different ones. I don't want to go too in-depth about all of these 3 systems, and I say that because, first of all, Serato is what I've always been using. I started with different software, but it doesn't exist anymore, Final Scratch, which was actually made by Stanton, and the software was made by Native Instruments before they made Traktor. But I've been using Serato Scratch Live for the longest. I've tried Traktor on several occasions, and like I said, I don't have enough experience with Virtual DJ. But let's get back to you first, Matthias or Matthias. Since you said that you've been using an NS7 and an NS7 too, that means that you have been using Serato DJ. Now, you talked about Serato Scratch Live, and I have to add straight away that Serato Scratch Live does still exist, but it's not being, they're not updating it anymore. Now everyone is supposed to use Serato DJ if you want to get the latest updates. So Serato DJ is now the only software by Serato, and that is for controllers and for DVS use. So you've already been using Serato DJ, so it would make the most sense for you to just use Serato DJ and get you some turntables and go back to that way of DJing. So without even looking more in depth into all of those different packages of software, you're already used to Serato, so that might be the most logical option. Now, there is one comparison that I would like to make when it comes to Serato versus Traktor. In my opinion, Serato versus Traktor is the same discussion as iOS versus Android. A lot of people have that discussion too. You can even say Mac versus PC, same thing. You're going to have two sides, and most of the times both people on both sides feel that they're using the best software and kind of like to talk down about the other software. So it's the same. I mean, iOS and Android are both great operating systems. They both work great, but they're different. And Serato would be iOS and Traktor would be Android, because iOS is pretty straightforward. You see what you get and everything works great, and there's a set way to use it. Same with Serato. Every device that I've ever used with Serato, when it comes to controllers and DVS systems, everything was always straightforward. You plug it in, it works straight away, and it's all good. And I love that. And it was catering more towards people who came from turntables like me, and I could feel that in the software, and it made the most sense for me to use that system. Traktor is definitely more like Android. Android gives you a lot more options to customize. You can customize everything on your home screen, add your own widgets, do a lot within the settings, and the same goes for Traktor. You have a lot of different options, and I noticed that every time I had a device that worked with Traktor and I tried to set up Traktor, I get like 20 tabs with different settings in there, and a lot of times you have to do at least half of those things to make everything work. And I mean, I know my way around computers, but I have to admit I had a lot of trouble with a lot of the Traktor products, because for one reason or the other, a lot of times I couldn't get stuff to work straight away, or I couldn't get it to work at all, which was kind of weird for me coming from Serato, where it would just plug in that USB and everything would work. It didn't work that way with Traktor, and I've tried a couple of devices. So you have a lot of options, especially if you're going to be more into mapping your own things and adding extra features, extra devices, and I see people do real cool stuff with it. So they're both good, but they do have their own personality, their own philosophy, and you have to see which one fits you best. You will never hear me say one is better than the other, because I don't feel that you should compare them in that way. And as far as the feature set goes, same with iOS and Android, there's always going to be one who has a certain feature first, and later on the other will have it as well. And you saw that all the time. If iOS had a new feature, then Android users would be like, oh, we had that for years. And the same thing happens with Serato and Traktor. So you need to, if you really want to get deep into it, do some extensive research on their sites, check out all their functions. But if you just want to spin like you were when you used real vinyl with your turntables, but now you want to do it with a DVS, Serato is probably your best option. If you want to go all out with customizable stuff, set everything up the way you want, map all the MIDI settings the way you want, Traktor probably has more options. But if you want to play video as well, Serato has Serato Video. Traktor still doesn't have video, I believe. Virtual DJ does. So it all depends on what exactly you need. But in your case, probably go for Serato. And for everyone else watching this video because they can't make up their mind, I can't decide this for you. Same as with an iOS or Android. I can tell you to get an iPhone or get a Samsung Galaxy or a HTC M8, whatever it's called. You have to check that out and see what phone fits your needs best. And in my case, it's also about a vibe. I just like the vibe of my iPhone. I feel that. But I'm definitely open to all the new Android devices that come out. And I see some great stuff there as well. So That's all, folks. No definitive answer, as in most of my videos. You know what it is. So I hope this info helps you out. And if you have any more questions, you know where to reach me, DJTLMTV at DJTLM.com. And I'll be back on Monday. Take care.